Ahava, blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekhinah. This podcast is here to support and guide us during these times of accelerating energies, this ascension time to remember, integrate, embody our soul essence. I am your host. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, a Reiki master, energy and sound alchemist. And in this episode, we are going to talk all about this new lunar cycle that begins on Wednesday, the 25th of June, 6:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, 3:31 in the morning, Western PDF Pacific Standard Time, and 12:31 p.m. CET. These energies are potent. I've been feeling them since the solstice, actually since a bit before. So it's very, very powerful energy. So we're going to dive into the energetics of this Cancer lunar cycle. The Cancer new moon, as I mentioned, is on June 25th in the wee hours of the morning, 12:31 for our friends in Europe. And the energies are potent. Cancer is, well, it's very dear to my heart as my son is in Cancer. So I know this energy very, very well. It is an energy that can be needy, emotional, clingy, obsessed about the past and lineage and history, particularly familial. It's a deeply intuitive and emotional energy in the light. So my perspective on astrology is I look at it from a Kabbalistic lens. I look at it in the light that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene would have celebrated these cycles. So the new moon begins on the 25th, but the lunar cycle of Tammuz of Cancer is the whole 28 days from new moon to new moon. So it's a powerful time to align with the cycles. Why is it important to align with the cycles? It's important to understand the energies of each lunar cycle so you can know what the energies are collectively and also what the energies are, how they interact with your personal energy. Every single one of us came down with an energetic blueprint, if I could speak, with an energetic blueprint that is our natal chart. Our natal chart, I will say this. So our natal chart in the Western perspective this is who you are. It's very cut and dry, very dogmatic, very linear. But that is not true. In the Kabbalistic perspective, you chose your energetic template, the energetic blueprint that is sealed in the stars at the time you took your first breath. You chose it in order to transcend it. And how do we transcend what we have chosen? We transcend it by understanding and learning how to work with the cycles, learning how to flow and sail with the energies. You might hear a lot of water energy coming through this transmission as Cancer is a water sign. And Cancer is the mother, the nurturer. It's the divine feminine archetype, the divine mother, the cosmic mother, the black womb, the dark womb of creation from which all is birthed and all returns. In the Kabbalistic perspective, all souls come through the constellation of Cancer. So there is a lot of mother energy. There's a lot of divine feminine energy, and there's a lot of water energy. There's a lot of emotions for this lunar cycle. A lot of emotions. All the feels and all the intuitive hits are coming. This is the lunar cycle one of the 3 hardest lunar cycles in Kabbalistic astrology. They are Tammuz, Av, Leo, and I believe it's Capricorn. Very, very hard energies. Hard not from a fatalistic point of view, but hard because it is the time when the veil between the unseen and the seen is the thinnest. So the most amount of light, of celestial cosmic energy is coming in, and there's no filter. Every astrological sign has its own Aramaic Hebrew frequencies, that planetary frequencies that it aligns with, that form a filter through which we can learn and work and interact with the cosmic energy. Cancer, no filter. No filter. So Cancer, and that is actually why Cancers, if you know any Cancers, we feel everything so deeply. Everything, if we are in the shadow, can be a drama and just the end of the world. Every little bump or hiccup is like, oh my God. Because in the shadow, if we don't know how to work with the energy, we don't know how to navigate, and we don't know how to ground, then of course everything is a minor crisis. However, when we can understand and embody this energy in its full authentic expression, in the expression of its truth, then we know that everything ebbs and flows. We know that everything returns to cosmic oneness. We know that there is no death. There is no death because life is eternal. It is a cycle. Everything ebbs and flows. And when a Cancer knows this, we learn how to let go. We learn how to surrender. And when, not just Cancers, when all of us can learn how to surrender and let go, that is when the magic truly begins to happen, because we allow ourselves to not only be the vessel for the infinite light, for creation to flow through us, but we stop getting in our way. We stop allowing the monkey mind, the ego, to distort and stamp its own little, seal of approval on our life. Because we know that when we are in alignment with our soul, with the divine, the ego begins to work for us, not against us. It's a beautiful energy. This lunation is happening at 4 degrees. 4 is the number of the 4 elements, of course. It's 5 with ether, but the 4 major elements. But 4 is a very grounding energy. It's very stabilizing. It is an energy that allows us to really ground and anchor the higher frequencies. The Aramaic creation frequencies that created Cancer is Het. Het has to do with the breath of life. It is the numerology of the Het is the 8, infinity, creation, infinity. And the moon, which governs Cancer, was created by Beit. And Beit is the 2, duality, but also duality coming into unity, the home, the womb, the vessel, the body that is the vessel for the soul. And it's connected to Saturn, of course, because the moon, not having a light of its own, always reflects the light of the sun. And the moon is connected with Saturn because Saturn is the planet of restriction, and Beit is connected to Saturn. And Beit allows us to create the structure that we need to ascend. So when we are not in our mission, Beit and the Saturnian energies can be restrictive. However, when we are in alignment with our soul, with the divine, the energies of Saturn stop restricting and they start blessing us with abundance. So this is a beautiful time to work on manifestation, to work on anchoring the energies. It's a wonderful time to work on the breath. Breathe. And it's a great time to work on the lineage. Why do I say the lineage? It's a wonderful time to work on your lineage because Cancer is the ruler of the fourth house. The fourth house has to do with our lineage, with our family, not just our immediate family, but our extended family. So it's a wonderful time to really work on resolving issues, particularly along the mother line, issues with the feminine, issues with the mother. And these issues, when I speak of familial issues like this, it doesn't mean that we have to go and have a conversation with them. Okay? A lot of people may not be able to have a really deep heart-to-heart and actually come to a solid understanding of respect, with respect, I should say. And that's okay. There is often abuse or traumas or deep-seated wounds that it might take more time to nourish and to work through. But we can work on these family dynamics from our heart. From our heart, through meditation, through intention, through sending love and healing. You don't necessarily have to do it directly face to face. You can write letters. This is a beautiful time during this cycle to, particularly, I would do this after the full moon. So when the moon begins to wane again, I would actually ask for clarity during the full moon in Capricorn. And I would put that clarity into a letter form several days, like 4 or 5 days after when the moon is waning. And I would, or right before the next new moon, that would be the other time I would do this. And create a little ritual, light a candle, write a letter, and really express your heart. Because remember, Cancer is about the emotions. It's about being in your feelings and knowing that your feelings are giving you information. So your feelings are not just there to torture other people or to torture yourself. Your feelings are there to really guide you into deeper alignment with what is resonant and what needs to be resolved right now. That's what your feelings do. So rather than being reactive when we get triggered, it's very important to take a breath. Remember, Het, breathing. Take a breath and really allow yourself to tune in to why whatever it is triggering you. Because when we know why it's triggering us, everything that is external is a mirror of the internal. Then we know what we need to work on within. Okay? So this new moon, the sun, moon, and Jupiter are in a conjunction. And that is really wonderful because we have the ability to utilize this wisdom that we receive during this lunation to expand, to really embody our soul mission, our essence, to embody our healing, to ground and anchor that healing in our being, fully in our being. It is a potent energy, absolutely potent energy of harmony, of healing, of expansion, of awakening, of ascension. We have a trine between Pluto and Neptune. Uranus. Uranus is the planet of awakening. It's the great, it's the one that will shake you up. It's the innovator. Pluto, death, rebirth, transformation, all energies that we need. We need to be placed in positions where we are not necessarily going to be comfortable in order for us to evolve. That is simply the way human beings are wired. If we are comfortable, if we, feel like all is good, we're going to stay coasting. We're going to stay in that realm. And now is not the time. Now is not the time to just be like chilling. It's not. It's the time to really be in our healing, because the light, as I mentioned, the light is coming in. There's no veil. There's no filter, which means if we aren't on top of our healing, if we aren't on top of our purification, and purification is not because there's something wrong with you. Purification is not because the body is and physicality is sinful. No. We purify so our sacred vessel, our bodies, and our lives can hold more light. Not just hold more light, but birth more light. We are created in the image of the Creator, God, Goddess, Allah. What does the Creator do? Creates. We are here to create, not just to be a vessel for the light, but to birth the light into our experience, into Al-Makuta. This energy is going to, the people that are going to be the most affected will be the cardinal signs. Also, if you have heavy placements in the 4th house or in a Cancer house, because not necessarily will Cancer for you might not just be the 4th house. It might be in another house. So it's important to know your astrology. But even if you don't, let's just say you don't, all you need to do is feel what is coming up for you in this moment. Because what is coming up for you in this moment is exactly what you need to deal with. That's it. Not what... Oh, that's the other thing I want to mention. Please don't give your power away. Every human being has the ability to be deeply intuitive and self-aware and know what they need to work on. It is very common in spiritual circles to give our power away, to think that someone else outside of us knows our body, knows our spiritual journey, knows our emotions better than us. They don't. They may see different things, because different healers, depending on what they're tuned into, what frequency they're carrying, they may see different things and different timelines for you. However, that does not mean that what they say you can take to the bank. It doesn't. Every being, myself included, is fallible. And every choice you make at every moment is you aligning with a certain timeline. So in one timeline, you may meet a beloved, but it is if you make actions, if you make causes, if you align yourself with the frequency of lack, then that timeline isn't open to you. This is why it's so important to do your work. Having a regular spiritual practice is so important, not because we're trying to be better than anyone else or because we're trying to have, brownie points so we can say I do X amount of meditation or whatever. None of that bullshit. We want to have a spiritual practice because we want to align with specific frequencies. Certain mantras, certain practices align you with creation. Other ones can align you with death. Other ones can align you with abundance. Other ones can align you with healing. Other ones can align you with sickness. If you're constantly speaking about, oh, I feel like shit. Oh, I have this wrong with me. I have that wrong with me. What are you doing? You are speaking into existence your desires. And the divine doesn't care. Doesn't care if you say you don't want to be sick. If you are saying that you are sick and affirming that again and again, you are going to get what you say. There is no judgment, but this is the way energetics work, and we are in the time where your frequency is what aligns you with the timeline. So if we want to be in fear and stuck and think that World War III is starting, guess what? That's the timeline we're going down. But if we choose to be sovereign and choose to what we are aligning with our thoughts, with our words, with our actions, then different timelines open up. It is all frequency. If you are a vibrational match for what you are calling in, and are you creating the space? Because if you are holding on to ancestral baggage, if you're holding on to, oh, this person did that to me, if you're holding on to judgment, to guilt, to shame, all very common with cancers, but also with, we all know. So very, very common emotions amongst the human species on this earth, in this plane of duality. If we're holding on to that, we're going to birth more of the same. We cannot receive love if our heart is filled with hate. If we are constantly judging, first of all, we're not aware that what we are judging exists within us. Everything that is outside of us exists within. There is nothing and no one that is not a mirror of some aspect of your being. We are all sparks of the divine. Every single one of us, even the ones that we don't like. Those are sparks of the divine too. And every being is fulfilling a mission and a purpose. Every single one of us. Now we can choose how to express that mission. We can choose how to embody it. And that is where our free will comes in. We have the choice. We can choose the timeline with which we want to align. It's up to us. There is no moment in time that we are powerless. Not a single one. Every one of us has the infinite potential to manifest a brilliant, abundant, beautiful, peaceful, harmonious existence. What is it that we're not willing to look at? Because that right there, where you are not willing to see yourself in another or to see that specific wound, that is where the magic happens. And that is where we can get tripped up and we can become getting in the head and getting in the ego. But this is why spiritual practice brings us back into alignment with the frequencies that we wish to embody. So what are you choosing? We can choose. Do you wish to call in the highest possible timeline of oneness and integration, healing and peace? Or do you wish to call in more of the same? The number 4. Let's come back to the number 4. The number 4 is a masculine number. It is a number that is about the parameters of our manifestation. So we must create a sound container for our manifestations. This is important, and this is why it's a masculine energy. We need the structure. We need the masculine in order to create. We cannot birth the light into the physical realm without a sound structure, without a foundation. The 4 is about the heart and compassion and forgiveness. Cancers are really good at holding grudges. But we have to open our hearts and we have to forgive. We have to trust that there is a cosmic symphony where different people are different instruments and they play different parts, and some harmonize beautifully and others clash. It doesn't mean one is good or bad. It simply means they serve different functions. At some points in time, we need the clash because that clash wakes us up. That wave that knocks us on our behind is the wave that will give us the strength and the fortitude to move forward, to carry on and to expand and to reach that next level. This energy is about forming and creating the structure that is most harmonious to your growth and to your expansion and to the grounding and anchoring of the higher frequencies of your soul into your experience. And in that vein of anchoring our manifestations, of creating that structure, gratitude. Having a heart filled with gratitude brings forth abundance. Gratitude and abundance go hand in hand. And the more we can wake up in the morning with a prayer of being grateful for our existence, for the fact that we are here, we are born, we are allowed to have another day to have a go at this life. That is the biggest blessing, the fact that we are alive, breathing, and with every breath, the het, there is the opportunity for correction, for healing, for coming into deeper harmony and alignment with your mission, your soul, your purpose, and the divine. So Het, as I mentioned, created the Aramaic frequency that created Cancer, has the numerical value of 8. It is the 8th letter in the Aramaic Hebrew alphabet, and it is related to the power of the Shem. The Shem is vibration. The Shem is also your name. It is Het has many teachings. One of the major ones would be grace. As Het teaches us how to embody this energy, this frequency of grace. With grace, we find when we embody it and we live our lives with grace, we find that things flow more easily. There is also, I mentioned, the 8 connected to infinity. So Het is connected to infinity. Within our finite physical incarnation, even though the physical, this particular life is finite, the possibilities that can unfold are infinite. So it is a beautiful energy of embodying grace, embodying the vibration, the frequency of your name, your mission, because your name is deeply tied to your mission. The Shem also. The Shem is also the first part of Shemaya, which is heavens. So if you know the Avun, the Vishmaya, Avun, the heavenly container that holds the Divine Mother Father, the Bishmaya of the heavens, Shemaya, heavens, the Shem. Vibration, frequency, coming back to that energy, knowing the frequency, knowing your specific frequency, and allowing yourself to move gracefully through life, harmonizing your frequency with your environment, your frequency with those around you, even your frequency in relationship. All of that is important. And of course, family is very, very important to Cancer. And Tav created the moon. I know that I mentioned the bait. And the bait is created Saturn related to the moon. Tav, the final Aramaic frequency, which has a numerical value of 400, created the moon. And it symbolizes truth and perfection, which makes sense being the final letter. So it's also about completion, the ending of a journey. And basically in that ending, everything before it has been encapsulated. So in essence, it comes back to the infinity. It's an eternal cycle of endings, beginnings, rebirths, deaths, and its cycles. It is really about understanding the cycles of your being and how they spiral through the cycles of life, through the cycles of the earth, through the cosmic cycles. So it's that endless dance of ebbing, flowing, growth, decline, rebirth, and that endless cycling to and from. Tav is also symbolizes the seal of truth, and it symbolizes our agreement, our covenant with the divine, with Ahava. And then there's also its connection to the concept of free will, and which I mentioned earlier. We have the free will to choose creation or destruction. Every decision aligns us with a specific timeline. We can choose what we wish to align with. So it really is up to us. It's up to us how we choose to express our soul. It's up to us to embody that soul, that light. It's up to us to nurture that connection with the divine and to give rise to transformation, to manifestation, to harmony through our being. And of course, Tav is related to manifestation. And since we all wish to manifest, know that every moment you are manifesting. There is no moment in which you're not manifesting. And your current circumstances is a reflection of what you have already manifested, what has already, the causes that have already been made. So if you wish to shift the trajectory of your experience as a human being, it starts with our actions. It starts with our intention. It starts with gratitude. It starts with your heart. And of course, Cancer rules the breasts, very connected to the heart. So use this cycle. Allow this cycle to teach you how you can come into deeper alignment with the divine, how you can embody more of your light, how you can radiate, purifying the vessel of the karmic obstacles, of the blockages, of all of that doesn't serve you, because we cannot receive all of the blessings we are calling in if our vessel is full of junk. We must clear out the junk. So, that being said, it's a beautiful cycle. I encourage you to really delve into the wisdom of this cycle. Allow it to teach you what you need to do, What is the lesson for you in this moment? And if you ask that question, even if you don't know what it is, and just open yourself to receiving, the answers will come to you. And those answers will guide you deeper into alignment with your soul, with the divine. With deeper embodiment. And of course, with joy and peace and beauty and grace. Have a blessed new moon. Ahava. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to tune in to the sound activation that is the companion for this episode and you can work with for the entire lunar cycle of Cancer, Tammuz. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at Aurea and at Embodying the Shekhinah, and of course on YouTube, Aurea for longer format videos where I share practices and mantras and mini sound activations. Have a blessed new moon. Ahava.